My name is Lori Brooks. I use she, her pronouns, and I would like to welcome you to the Bucksmont Unitarian Universalist Fellowship's multi-platform worship, where moved by love, we share lifelong journeys of growth, wonder, and healing, nurturing wholeness in society and spirit, creating a community of justice and compassion. I'd like to give a welcome to everyone joining us online and in person today, members, friends, and those who may be newcomers to our community this morning. If you are new to Bucksmont and visiting us in person today, please stop by our visitor center in the front hallway near where you came in. There you can also make a name tag for yourself and find more information about Unitarian Universalism, Bucksmont Fellowship, and upcoming events. If you'd like a hymnal or a printed order of service, those are available near the entrance to the sanctuary. If you are visiting us online, hi, or prefer digital methods, please email our office administrator, Beverly, to sign up for our email newsletter and get connected to our congregation. Each week in our service, we offer time for people to share a joy or sorrow from their lives by texting a phone number. That number will be shared in the chat box for those online and is on screen now for everyone now and later in the service. If you would like to see the order of service, details about upcoming services, and other ways to gather with our community, you can find that on the homepage of our website, buxmontuu.org. As is usual, there is a lot happening at Bucksmont, and we would like to highlight these announcements in particular. Today's gorgeous flowers were donated by Ruth Ashman and Yuli and Zola Fresnida in memory of David Alec Ashman Wells. They're beautiful, Ruth. RE this week from 10:30 to 11:45. Childcare is available for families with little ones 5 and under. They are invited to drop off or stay and play in the nursery as needed. All children are welcome to use the play spaces in the sanctuary and the social hall. Join us this Tuesday, August 22nd, from 6 to 7:30 in the sanctuary for a presentation on human trafficking presented by NOVA, the Network for Victim Assistance. This free event will offer an overview presentation of human trafficking, key indicators of trafficking, and how exploitation exists here in our county. To register and for more details, please see the e-voice. A memorial service celebrating the lives of Jane Marie Dyer and Colin Voken Robinson will be held in person in the sanctuary on Sunday, August 27th, so next Sunday, at 12:30. We will have a light lunch with sandwiches and snacks for those attending both the worship service and this celebration of their lives. Our final summer community night at Bucksmont will be a movie night. Next Sunday, August 27th, starting at 6:30. Come for the popcorn, stay for the community, and, as before, more details in the weekly e-voice or the homepage of our website. You are invited to join the Free Range Choir for our first annual Get Ready, Get Set, Sing gathering to get a head start on fall music at Bucksmont. Join musical friends old and new on Saturday, September 9th from 1 to 4:30 in the sanctuary. Don't miss this great opportunity to venture into the world of group singing. Please RSVP to Margaret Lee so there will be plenty of snacks. And remember, singing is just breathing out loud. Save the date. Bucksmont's popular coffee house is returning on Saturday, September 7th. Contact Dina Condren if you are interested in performing. Whether you are a guest, friend, or member, we are glad you are part of our worship service today. As we gather in our sanctuary, in our homes, or watch from mobile screens almost anywhere, we are all together. Those watching now on Sunday, and those who may be watching months from now. We are joined together for worship across both space and time. This is a free, creedless, religious congregation. In the discipline of truth and the spirit of universal kinship, we join together in a cooperative quest for religious and ethical values, seeking to apply these values to the development of character, enrichment of the spirit, and service to all. You are welcome here. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever the color of your skin or your country of origin, no matter your gender expression or gender identity, whatever your age, however you define family, wherever you are at this time, and whatever the source of your faith, you are welcome here. Our speaker this morning is Karina Eshraghi, who will be introducing us to the Baha'i faith. My mother was a Baha'i for over 30 years. Karina and her husband Ramin were two of her favorite people, so this service is very special to me. Karina's claim to fame here at Bucksmont is that she is Marianne Trollop's daughter. This morning, as we do each time we gather, we kindle our Unitarian Universalist chalice. We do so today with the words from the prophet Baha'u'llah.
The utterance of God is a lamp, whose light is these words. Ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Deal ye one another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth.
Please light your chalice at home. Our common chalice is now lit. John will be teaching us a song written by Baha'i Red Grammar. His songs about unity and the equality of men and women are what attracted my mother to the Baha'i faith. Point of interest, Red Grammar is singing Andy Grammer's father.
Okay, and I'd like to have the kids come up to help me out, if you could. And you can stay for the time for all ages and everything. So let's come on up now, because we're going to learn this song. Did you know that a song is like a message to the future? A song is something we can carry with us. Nobody can take it away from us if we ever learn it. And it can help us move to the future. So I'm going to teach you a part of this song, so even if you don't read, you'll know it. And we'll sing it a few times, and then we'll sing the whole song. And I'm going to ask everybody else to sit down and sing along as well, okay? So we're going to start with the chorus. And the chorus says, I think you're wonderful. Can you say that? I think you're wonderful? I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. When somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, let's try that. I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, now me. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. Let's try that. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say, it makes me want to say. Same thing to somebody new, same thing to somebody new. Let's try that. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. Let's try that last part. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. I think some people know this song already. But let's do that part again, okay? I'm going to try to help you with the words. I think you're wonderful when somebody says that to me. I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful. As wonderful can be. As wonderful can be. It makes me say. It makes me want to say the same thing. The same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful. Let's try that one more time. I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful. As wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful. Here comes some verses. When we practice this phrase in the most special way and find something special, someone new each day, we'll lift up the world one heart at a time. It all starts by saying this one simple line. I think you're wonderful. I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful. As wonderful can be. As wonderful can be. It makes me want to say. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. When each one of us feels important inside, loving and giving, so glad we're alive. We'll hold what a difference we'll make in each day, and because someone decided to say, what did they say? I think you're wonderful. Somebody says, when somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful. It's wonderful. As wonderful can be. It makes me want to say. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. Yeah, and you can carry that message with you into the world. Now we're going to have a story and a prayer before we go to our classes.
Story time! Now, is that not a song that wants to make everyone get up and do a big group hug? Group hug! Yeah, you do. You guys want to come over a little bit closer? You're more than welcome. Oh, you're all so sweet. So today, I'm going to share a little bit about the name of a new person. And that name of that new person, my name is Karina, and I'm a Baha'i, and one of the central figures of our faith is Abdu'l-Baha, which begins with the letter A. Yay! So Abdu'l-Baha means servant of glory, and Abdu'l-Baha loved children very, very much. So today I'm going to share with you a very, very special story about how Abdu'l-Baha was such a great example in serving others. Do any of you like to serve others?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you serve in your family? You help your mom?
Yeah, my dad too.
You help your dad too? That's awesome. Those are all great ways of being service. So, in Anka, there were many, many poor people who had no one to look after them except Abdu'l-Baha. Every winter he brought many warm cloaks to give to them. Some of the people were blind or hurt. Abdu'l-Baha would gently put the cloaks around their shoulders and fasten them up. When people were ill, he would take food to them. He would take food and medicine to their homes. One day he was so very, very busy that he asked one of the friends to go and visit a man who was very, very ill. The Baha'i was very happy to do this, and she went at once. But when she went into the man's house, it was so dirty and there was such a horrible smell that she ran right away. And she went and she told Abdu'l-Baha all about that. Abdu'l-Baha, how do you think he felt? He felt very sad and he was very stern. He said that he had been to that house many times. Couldn't she go just once? If a house is dirty, she must clean it up. If someone is hungry, she must give him food. If we want to serve God, said Abdu'l-Baha, then we must serve each other. So that's a really nice story about service and how we should help one another in all conditions. So Abdu'l-Baha, he revealed a very special prayer just for children. And this is used around the world by Baha'i children for education. So in our faith tradition, we often chant our prayer to intone the words of God. So I'm going to use some hand motions, and you can join along with me with the hand motions, okay? Oh God, educate these children. These children are the plants of thine orchard, the flowers of thy meadow, the roses of thy garden. Let thy rain fall upon them. Let the sun of reality shine upon them with thy love. Let thy breeze refresh them in order that they may be trained, grow and develop and appear in the utmost beauty. Thou art the giver, thou art the compassionate. Very nice. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful class, and I have a book that I'm going to give you for your, you go to a church, do you have a class now that you go to?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you this book to take to your class with you, and that's a gift from me to you.
Is it for me?
It's for all of the children. You can read it with all of the children. All of you can read it together.
It's to share.
It's to share.
Yeah. So now we're going to sing the children out with our normal song, which is also sort of like a prayer. As you go on your way, may you be filled with gladness. Go with joy, go with joy. May fortune bless your day with peace and loving kindness. Go in love, go in love. As you go on your way, may you be filled with gladness. Go in joy, go in joy. May fortune bless your day with peace and loving kindness. Go in love, go in love.
The offering in liberal religion is a vital part of our history of faith. As a covenanted community, people who freely choose to be here, our voluntary giving is symbolic of that freedom of choice. Each week at Bucksmont, we share our offering with a different cause or organization in the community. For the month of August, we are sharing with Advocates for Inclusive Education. Advocates for inclusive education believe successful public schools are places where students have the freedom to read, the freedom to learn, and the freedom to engage in honest conversations about the world around them. Public schools are where our kids learn to respect each other, tolerate, and even embrace differences, go figure, and create democracy out of individuals. We ask that you participate in our morning offering in one of these ways. You can write out a check to Bucksmont and mail it into the fellowship. You may donate online now or at the end of our worship service, or you may place your donation in one of the baskets as they are passed. We will now receive the morning offering. Great thanks to both Mike and Sonia. That was lovely. Our community continues to grow and thrive due to generous donations of both time and money. For the many ways you contribute and how it sustains this fellowship, we are truly grateful. And we're 5 minutes ahead of time. Okay.
Hello again. I will be sharing more about, after this reading about Abdu'l-Baha, who is one of the central figures of the Baha'i faith. But I will be talking about how prayers were revealed for many special occasions. Abdu'l-Baha visited the United States in the early 1900s, and he visited the Unitarian Church in Philadelphia. And after he, on that day, he revealed that special prayer that I just read for children, and he also revealed this prayer specifically for the Unitarians. He asked God to make them signs of unity so that the real unity may appear and all may become one. Oh my God, Verily, these servants at the threshold of thy mercy, and maidservants at the door of thy oneness. Verily, they have gathered in this temple to turn to thy face of glory, holding to the hem of thy garment and to thy singleness, seeking thy good pleasure and ascent into the kingdom. They receive effulgent from the Son of Reality in this glorious century. And they long for thy goodwill in all great affairs. O Lord, illumine their sight with the vision of thy signs and riches, and quicken their ears with a hearkening to thy word. Render their hearts replete with thy love, and gladden their spirits with thy meeting. Deign to bestow upon them spiritual good in thy earth and heaven, and make them signs of unity among thy servants, in order that the real unity may appear, and all may become one in thy cause and kingdom. Verily, thou art the generous. Verily, thou art the mighty, the spiritual. Thou art the merciful, the clement.
This summer at GA, the Unitarian Universalist Association moved towards making love the central tenet of our faith. And so I think love will guide us becomes a real anthem for that. Unfortunately, our hymnal does not have all the verses that Sally Rogers wrote, and they left out some of the better ones. So we're going to sing the whole thing, despite what's in the hymnal, and we're going to change the words back the way she wrote them. Okay? Please rise as you're one and able. Oh, love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us shall lead the way. On the road from grief to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. Oh, if you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Tell me about it. Oh, love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us. For surely the way on the road from grief to giving, love will guide us through the dark night. You alone know of the meaning, what you can give, no other can give to the future of our precious children, to the future of the world where we live. What's going to happen? Oh, love will guide us, and peace has tried us. Oh, love inside will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the dark night. Hear the song of peace within you. Hear the song of peace in your heart. Springs new beginning will lead to the harvest, 'cause love will guide us on our way. Oh, love will guide
be helpful if I had my notes. All right. Thank you so much, Lori. I am so honored to share here today, and I just love all the connections that intertwines you and the friendship that we've formed. Lori and I shared a very special time together in the spiritual journey of her mom at the end of her life. And so I can feel right now your mom, Jean, smiling down on us that we're sharing together in the spirit of friendship and religion and understanding. So Lori mentioned also that my mother, Marion, who has been an active member of the Unitarian Universal Church in both Atlanta and here in Pennsylvania when she moved here 10 years ago. And so what I have always loved about the Unitarian Church is the truly strong spirit of service and community. And I want to give a special shout out to the Caring Committee, who I've had an opportunity to meet over the years. And you're truly, I've learned a lot from hearing Mom's stories about the Caring Committee and all the wonderful things you're doing in the community. And I've even stolen some of your caringness because you guys are amazing. And I'll tell you about that later. So in today's brief presentation, I'll be sharing a very brief perspective of peace as a Baha'i believer. I became, wait, should I turn on to the, oh, wrong way. Am I doing this okay?
Of course, it worked when we were.
There we go. Okay, I got it. Okay. So let me start again. In today's presentation, I'm going to be sharing a very brief perspective of peace as a Baha'i believer. So I became a Baha'i in my early 20s as I was seeking many answers as a social worker to the dire problems facing society. In particular, at that time, I was working in Child Protective Services. The breakdown in family and fundamental disunity, which subsequently caused profound trauma to children and families, really shook me to my spiritual core. So I was drawn to the Baha'i faith given the hope, promises, and visions for a better and just world. I had been to many different churches and, looking for, I didn't go to the Unitarian Church, but I went to many other churches, looking for answers and didn't find them. And I found that when I found the Baha'i faith, I wasn't thrown out of the Baha'i gatherings because I had a lot of questions to ask. So I met my husband, Ramin, over there in Haifa, Israel, when doing a period of service at the Baha'i World Center, and we raised our family, 3 daughters in Montgomeryville, and I see my neighbor over there, in Westgate. And my sister-in-law, Roya, is here too. So the Baha'i faith is an independent world religion based on the divinely inspired teachings of Baha'u'llah. Now, Baha'u'llah was the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith, and his name literally means glory of God. So followers of Baha'u'llah are called Baha'is. So the Baha'i faith began in 1844, and it teaches the essential worth of all religions and unity of all people. The Baha'i faith was established in Iran and in parts of the Middle East, but has rapidly grown through all regions in the world, in villages, cities, and because the teachings brought by the founders, they're a source of enlightenment and healing remedy to address many of the ills of today's society. There are roughly between 5 to 7 million Baha'is in the world. Baha'i literature is in over 800 languages. Baha'is live everywhere, as I just mentioned. And the Baha'i faith attracts members from every nation, race, creed, and class of society. Baha'is follow Baha'u'llah's teachings for promoting justice, unity, and peace for all humanity. The Baha'i faith has 3 central figures that established this new universal religion in the mid-1800s. The Bab was a manifestation of God that came to prepare the way for the dispensation of Baha'u'llah. The Bab proclaimed that about every 1,000 years that God sends a messenger of God, and that Baha'u'llah was he whom God shall make manifest, and that this faith would be a universal religion welcoming to all peoples of the world. The Bab's dispensation was very short and full of very tragic events, given the sweeping social reforms needed to pave the way for Baha'u'llah's message of unity for the world. Baha'is believe that Baha'u'llah is a manifestation of God, and it is through his vast revelation that we know the infinite essence and love of God, as he was a divinely appointed intermediary. The teachings he brings hold the blueprint for effective ways for bringing unity in the world. We have faith that unity is not only possible, it is inevitable, as it is the next stage of human evolution in the planet. So what is unique about his revelation was the sheer breadth and depth of his writings. Most prolific was that he established a covenant to his followers to prevent the prevent the faith from division. So Baha'u'llah's mission is this. He said that he has come to quicken the world and unite all its peoples. The day is approaching when that which God hath purposed will have prevailed, and thou shalt behold the earth transformed into the all-glorious paradise. I know it doesn't sound possible in today's society, but we have hope. So Baha'u'llah proclaimed that his eldest son, Abdu'l-Baha, is center of his covenant and was appointed as the only authorized interpreter of his writings. One of Abdu'l-Baha's chief objectives was to establish the Baha'i faith in America. Abdu'l-Baha visited America in the early 1900s and gave talks throughout the states. That prayer that I read was, as I mentioned, is when he visited the Unitarian Church in Philadelphia. So Abdu'l-Baha was known as the father of the poor for his exemplary and sacrificial spirit of service to humanity. There are many, many stories demonstrating the love and compassion for all people in need. So the Baha'i faith is not only an independent world religion, it is a way of living, and Baha'is turn to Abdu'l-Baha as the greatest exemplar for how to promote love and unity in building vibrant and diverse communities, as we have been promised that so powerful is the light of unity that it can illumine the whole earth. So Baha'u'llah, he's revealed more than 100 volumes of sacred scripture that form a blueprint for unifying humanity and bringing about spiritual rebirth. These teachings are for both individuals and humanity collectively. So Baha'u'llah asks his followers to share his teachings with the world. So the way that we like to think of it as Baha'is, we think of the imagery of a magnificent feast, and all humanity is invited to partake of a share. So pretty basically, what are some of the major teachings of the Baha'i faith? The Baha'i faith is a monotheistic religion. Baha'is believe that all world faiths come from the same God, which is an unknowable essence. Progressive revelation is a concept how we describe spiritual evolution in that God continues to send messengers. All of the prophets of God, we believe, originate from the same source, but their stations and functions are different in the world. These messengers, they provide guidance to humanity's understanding regarding the existence and purpose of God. So a key principle in our faith is to not blindly follow the teachings of the faith, and every person is responsible for investigating truth. I know that's one of your principles also as Unitarians, is investigation of truth. So life after death is a very mysterious concept to describe, but essentially Baha'is believe in the eternal progress of the soul. What that means to us is that the soul comes into being at the time of conception, and the soul continues on its spiritual journey following physical death from this world. So a way that we like to, describe that concept is that when the baby is in the mother's womb, the baby is developing all the, physical characteristics. To be successful in this world. While the child is in that womb, he has no concept of this world, but it's developing, the faculties, the arms, the legs, in order to be successful. We see the same concept in this world, that we're developing our spiritual qualities that we all share together: kindness, love, peace, unity, respect, the list goes on. That in this world is preparing us for the next world, which we don't know about. Nobody does. All right. So, peace and unity begins at home in the family. When there's peace at home, there is increased understanding of how to teach peace around the world. So the elimination of all forms of prejudice is a basic central tenet of the Baha'i faith. The way we see it is that prejudice needs to be remedied first through a changing of heart and spiritual recognition that there is really only one human race. There is no place in society for discrimination and hatred towards any population of people. And I'm sure you all think exactly the same in that way about loving everyone. Baha'is believe that the time has come to see ourselves as citizens of the world rather than belonging to a particular country. This helps to expand our thinking about the needed equilibriums in all systems in the world. And we all know that there is a long list of justices needed in this world. You just turn on the TV and it's mind-blowing, those lists of injustices. But we all need to be working together to kind of find solutions to those problems. So we have many Baha'i institutions that are actively involved in helping to find solutions, such as the National Spiritual Assembly of the United States. They wrote a very powerful and beautiful statement on the vision of race unity, and really where we all have responsibility. Both white people have responsibility and African American people have responsibility for eliminating this disease that continues to be a cancer to our society. So strive to have unconditional love for every person. Serve God by serving one another. So I mentioned earlier that I really wanted to share a story specifically about the Caring Committee of the Unitarian Church. It was at the time of COVID. And, we were all kind of shut in. And, Mom was telling me about how the Caring Committee was reaching out and calling people in the community, checking on them. I thought, oh, that's a really good idea to reach out and check on people. So I talked to some of my Baha'i friends, and I was like, hey, why don't we do the same thing that the Unitarians are doing? That's a great idea. I love it. And so we did the same thing. We called and we reached out to people, and Roya, you remember Roya was a part of reaching out, but the idea came from the Caring Committee. And the beautiful thing is you really never know. When you're reaching out to somebody, you never know what kind of impact it's going to have on that person, right? You never know whether you're going to be making a difference for a person or it's just a routine outreach. So we made all our phone calls at that time and reached out and let people know we were aware. And we really didn't get a huge response. People were pretty, didn't need anything. We asked, could we do any shopping for you? All the things that you guys were doing. So let's fast forward, maybe about 2 months ago, I was at a gathering, and a fella comes up to me. He's like, I never stopped to thank you, but thank you so much for calling me, during COVID. I was like, I'd actually forgotten that we had done that. And he was like, you never know what a difference it made on me. It was what I needed at the time, and he didn't go into the details, but it just really shows you how you never know. You reach out, you care for somebody, you never know at that time, but it comes back later how you made a significant difference in a person. So I wanted to say thank you, because I thought that was really beautiful. Okay, let me go on. Oh, wrong way. All right. So, as juicy as it may be, as juicy as it may be, the Baha'i teachings are emphatic about abstaining from backbiting and fault-finding, given the disunity that it causes in relationships. Backbiting has been defined as discussing the faults of others when they're not present. So, a tool available to all peoples is how to effectively use the power of consultation to overcome difficulties. Consultation helps to preserve unity because it promotes good communication skills and positive approaches to decision-making. And I was really excited to hear in, how you're dedicating the offering for education, because as Baha'is also, we believe that one of the most urgent requirements for advancing civilization is the promotion of education for all peoples. No nation will achieve success and prosperity until this is realized. The main reason is that ignorance is the root cause of what causes decline and division. Education is fundamental for bringing about a higher consciousness required for solving the complex problems facing humanity. How am I doing on time?
You're fine.
Okay, I'm fine. Okay, wrong way. So this is a principle which I'm sure all of you hold near and dear to your heart about women and men being equal, equal being, opportunity and rights. And so one thing that Lori was, mentioned, that how significant, in the mid-1800s, that Baha'u'llah uttered this essential principle for unity of humankind being the equality of women and the equality of women and men, because in the conditions in the society in Iran in the mid-1800s, there was no equality of women. So that's pretty significant. And as Lori mentioned, that was the teaching that really drew her mother to the faith. Science and religion are hand in hand, and they go together. And so pretty basically, is the harmony creates unity, and that we understand our world through understanding science. And so those two principles need to kind of go together. Engaging in an occupation. So there have been many prayers brought about by the three central figures of the faith, the Bab, Baha'u'llah, and Abdu'l-Baha, for different occasions, which are conduits for developing spiritual capabilities. These prayers are readily available to all peoples to help in difficulties with overcoming challenges or assistance for any need. And guess what? There are even prayers for husbands and wives to see the light of their spouse's wayward ways. Thank you. Ta-da! That was one of my jokes I wanted everyone to laugh about. Okay, so the state of prayer includes communion with God, reflection and action. Serving mankind and ministering to the people is prayer in action and is highly praiseworthy. Okay, thank you. So, one of the unique things about the Baha'i faith is that we refrain from partisan politics. In the future, we believe that there will be a universal auxiliary language so all peoples can communicate. We have many Baha'i laws regarding chastity, marriage, divorce, and burial. Yeah, and so you may see this and think, Baha'is have no fun. We abstain from gambling, narcotics, alcohol. But I guarantee you, Baha'is are really funny and we're really friendly, and we have lots of meaningful conversations and other ways of having fun. Thank you for the laugh. So we observe Baha'i holy days, we have community gatherings, and we have a Baha'i fast. A Baha'i fast is a period of 19 days at the end of the year where we abstain from drinking and eating before sunset and before and after sunset. And the idea is that it's spiritual rejuvenation. And so as we mentioned, the Baha'i faith is through all parts of the world. We have an administrative order that takes care of the teaching and other affairs in the community. This is a picture of our National Spiritual Assembly of the United States. We have our administrative order on a local level, national level, and then a universal level, international level. This is the Universal House of Justice, which is located in Haifa, Israel, and they govern the international affairs of the faith. And some of the core activities that we offer that are open to all peoples of the world. We have devotional gatherings, and people are welcome to share readings and writings from their faith tradition. We have classes for children and junior youth. And we have study circles. Study circles are education programs that help to kind of develop skills and capacities for a life of service. So I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karina. And I believe John is going to lead us in another hymn, Meditation on Breathing, which seems appropriate.
I request you stay seated for this one, I think, and we'll get up and sing the next one. But this one's a peaceful, meditative song. Many of you know it, some of you don't. There are 3 different parts, and you can sing whichever one of them or ones of them you'd like. Sort of like Margaret's idea of the free-range choir, any range you want to sing. You can sing low or high or whatever. I'll teach each one as we go. So we'll start with the low part, and then I will sing the melody, and then I will sing the descant. And the melody and descant have the same words but different melodies, okay? So that's how that works. So as you hear it, feel free to join in whichever part you want. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. Down to the breathe in part. Breathe in.
As part of our caring outreach to one another, we set aside a few moments to note both joys and sorrows in our lives. In these moments of peace and reflection, we turn our attention to one another. We hold each and all in our compassionate thoughts and the prayers of our hearts. This morning, we are dropping stones in water. The bowl includes some of the water we gathered as a community back in September, so it contains the love of our congregation surrounding each joy or sorrow. As we add the stones to the bowl of water, our experiences are given weight and depth. We add a piece of our own stories to the collective waters of this community, a place that also holds the memories of those who have gone before and anticipates those who have yet to arrive. To share the joy or sorrow you would like held by our caring community, please text the number that is on the sanctuary screens. Please include your name along with your sharing. It is the same number no matter how you join us today, and you can add it to your contacts for future weeks. I will read them aloud, and though I didn't ask him ahead of time, I will ask John to drop a stone in the water on your behalf. What is shared today will go out in our weekly caring notes for those who cannot be with us this morning. Please remember to include your name with what you share. And now we will add a final stone for all the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken and deep within our hearts. With stones gathered and remembrances shared, we honor our joys and our sorrows, those shared this morning and the many more that exist beyond words. Through our time together, our relationships are deepened and our community made whole.
Our final song, Let It Be a Dance, is one I found when I first came into Bucksmont in the early 80s. Rick Maston, who wrote it, had visited here, I believe, 3 times. And this was one of the favorites the congregation had back then, and we've been singing it ever since. So please rise as you're willing and able and join in singing Let It Be a Dance. We do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Yes, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, plant the seed. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. And let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin like a willow learn to bend, and like a willow in the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be time to joy, a time to cry. So take it as it passes by, and let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. The morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. So let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Yes, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance we do. That's the way Rick always
I'm
sings it.
stealing that song too.
And before you sit down. So our chalice extinguishing words are again from the Prophet Baha'u'llah.
Be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. Be fair in thy judgment and guarded in thy speech. Be a lamp unto those who walk in darkness and a home to the stranger. Be eyes to the blind and a guiding light unto the feet of the erring. Be a breath of life to the body of humankind, a dew to the soil of the human heart, and a fruit upon the tree of humility.
In our time together, may each of us become a sanctuary for all we meet on the journey. Go now in peace and return again to this beloved community.